welcome to our July meeting, our July board meeting. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law of 1975. This meeting notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press on July 2nd and has been duly advertised in the Asbury Park Press issue of July 7th, 2025. All municipal clerks of the townships, the boroughs within the regional district has been duly notified, and the requirements of this posting was met on July 2nd, 2025. Will you please join me in the pledge? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Siscano, any changes to the board agenda?
Yes, Mr. President. In addition to the items that were noted on the agenda that was pre-printed prior to the meeting, the board also discussed for exception number 3, the HIV report, student discipline report, student graduation report. The board also discussed exception number 7, the following matters: agency reference 177-625, agency reference matter 191-625, agency reference matter 2025-39025, docket number 3:24-CV-00822, and the tax levy incentive program and 2026 fiscal year budget. Lastly, the board also discussed number 8, personnel items as noted on the agenda.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the June 12th student recognition meeting, 5-hour meeting? May I have a motion?
Moved. Second.
Ms. Capello, Ms. McCobb.
Any discussion, board?
No.
Not hearing any discussion. Motion?
Mr. Sotolo?
Yes.
Ms. Bruno?
Yes.
Mrs. Capiello?
Yes.
Ms. Butcher Farkas?
Yes.
Mrs. Higley?
Yes.
Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Ms. McCobb?
Yes.
Mr. Messinger?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Thank you.
Communications are on file with the board secretary's office. And now we're going to have Dr. Hazel's superintendent report.
Thank you, Mr. Bruno. Welcome to the 25-26 school year. I can't believe we are here, but July 1st triggers a new school year. We just finished with graduation. It felt like, actually feels like an eternity ago. A very, very hot day for us in the school district. Just want to thank all of our administrators and staff, parents and community. You know, conditions were a little bit challenging, but all of our ceremonies were absolutely beautiful. And we were all there to recognize and congratulate and wish our seniors well. This year we graduated 2,567 students from the cohort of 2025. We wish our seniors well. They are right now are enjoying their summer, but are getting their bags packed to begin some of their next journeys, whether that be college, the workforce, the military. So on behalf of myself and our Board of Education, we congratulate all of our graduates. And plans are underway to welcome our new freshmen to the Freehold Regional High School District. I, as superintendent, facilitated a leadership retreat and leadership meeting with our central office administrators and our building principals. That meeting was on July 8th. We have another meeting, July 30th, as well as a meeting in August. Those meetings serve to outline kind of the goals and expectations for the upcoming school year, really are anchors that support our district strategic plan as well as our middle states goals. So that work will continue through the summer, and then the buildings are working on action plans to support those goals, and then all of that gets communicated through the superintendent's address and our building principals when they open up schools. So a lot of work is underway this school year, this summer, And we are also building our professional development plan, because we want to have plans in place to be able to support our staff in working alongside of administration in carrying out those goals and action plans. Our calendar is on again at this board meeting, and that includes an extra early dismissal day for professional development in December. So again, we have a full scope of plans for PD this school year, not just for our classroom teachers, but for all staff members in the district. And all of our school leaders are working through those plans. This evening, we are going to be facilitating Dr. Henniker, who is our Director of Student Services, our testing report. So the New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment, GPA, was administered in the spring of ―25. Those results have been received by the school district. We're going to present on those this evening, and pleased to report a lot of efforts were placed in the area of mathematics for additional supports for students. Those were all enacted in all 6 buildings. So we take pride in our strong curriculum and instructional program, but realize that we need at some points for some students to give them a little extra where they may need it, kind of concurrently as they're working through their course, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, or Geometry, whatever their course is, giving them the necessary support so that they can be successful, not only in the curriculum that we're administering, but any type of state or national assessment that they may take. So a lot of work was done through the mathematics department and the curriculum and instruction office, and we saw a really nice jump in our mathematics scores this school year. So this report this evening will be on the GPA, but also the access test that our multilingual students take as well. So Dr. Henniker, if you want to get yourself situated for that presentation, you'll kick us off and kind of lead us through a little bit about the test and then how Frankfort Regional fared. And you know, very pleased in this district how we far exceed the state averages, both in language arts and in mathematics. So thank you, Dr. Henniker.
Thank you. Good evening, President Bruno, Dr. Hazel, board members, colleagues, and community members. I'm Bruce Henniker, Director of Student Services. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll explain what the NJGPA measures and share our district's overall results, including year-over-year changes and how we compare to the state. I'll highlight key subgroup performance in both ELA and math, then present our Access for ELS 2.0 results for our multilingual learners, covering overall proficiency, grade level breakdowns, and 5-year trends. We'll wrap up with our 4-pillar intervention framework. To start, let's look at how the NJGPA is structured. By state law, every 11th grader must take the NJGPA. It reports graduation readiness in 2 separate components: ELA, which is aligned to grade 10 standards, and mathematics, which is aligned to Algebra 1 and geometry. So we see exactly where each student stands in each area. Students scoring below 725 on either component may retake it in the fall, earn a qualifying score on an approved substitute test like the DSAT or the SAT, or pursue a portfolio appeal demonstrating proficiency through coursework and artifacts. This slide shows that 2,461 students sat for the ELA portion and 2,464 students for math. That small difference reflects the exemption for multilingual learners who enroll after June 1st of the previous school year. They're not required to take ELA, but must still complete the math component. In spring 2025, 88.9% of students were graduation ready in ELA and 75.3% in math, giving us a clear baseline of overall readiness. Year over year, ELA readiness held steady at about 89%, while math readiness rose from 68.5% to 75.3%, an increase of nearly 7 percentage points, reflecting the effectiveness of our targeted supports. In 2025, we outpaced the state by 8.2 points in ELA, 88.9 versus 80.7, and outpaced the state by 17.3 points in math, 75.3 versus 58, widening our advantage in both subjects. This chart displays our spring 2025 ELA graduation ready rates by subgroup against the 80.7% statewide average, which is represented by the red line. We're proud that Asian, 98%, African American, 84.9%, white, 92.2%, two or more races, 96.4%, and overall, 88.9% learners all exceeded that benchmark. Economically disadvantaged students, 74.8%, and Hispanic Latino learners, 73.7%, are also making strong gains. And we'll build on that success to bring our students with IEPs, 62.4%, and multilingual learners, 13.9%, fully to graduation readiness. This chart compares each subgroup's spring 2025 math readiness against the 58% state average, again represented by the red line. Our overall district rate of 75.3% significantly exceeds the state benchmark, with Asian learners leading at 93.5%, white learners at 81%, students of two or more races at 78.2%, and African American students at 60.3%. We're also encouraged by the strong performance of economically disadvantaged students at 53.5%. As we continue our work, we'll build on these gains to accelerate supports for Hispanic Latino learners at 49.4%, students with IEPs at 31.5%, and our multilingual learners at 14.5%. Moving on to the Access results, a little background on the Access. Access for ELS 2.0 is our annual WIDA-based English language proficiency assessment in place in New Jersey since 2016. It factors into our state accountability under the English language proficiency indicator and sets the criteria for exiting our ML program. Students need an overall score of 4.5 or higher, backed by other district reclassification measures. There are 6 proficiency levels, from level 1 entering through level 6 reaching. As students advance, they move from relying on visuals and supports towards independently understanding and producing grade level academic English. Any student earns an overall proficiency level of 4.5 or above is considered to have met the proficiency target for exiting our ML program. This chart displays all 269 Access scores by proficiency level, from entering through reaching, with nearly 1 in 5 students scoring in levels 4 through 6. This chart breaks out our 269 Access scores by grade, with 85 students in grades 9 through 12 scoring the developing grade. Even more encouragingly, we have strong numbers moving into expanding and above. 14 ninth graders, 13 in grades 10 and 11, and 9 in grade 12. The concentration of students in lower proficiency levels at grades 11 and 12 reflects the natural progression where higher performance students exit the program upon reclassification, leaving those who need continued language support. This line graph shows the steady rise in the number of multilingual learners hitting our 4.5 and above exit threshold over the last 5 years. We started with just 5 students in 2020-21, climbed to 8, then 10, and made a big jump to 20 in 2023-24, reaching 26 this spring. That sustained upward trend demonstrates the growing impact of our targeted English language supports. On to our interventions. Our response is fourfold. align curriculum and assessment around graduation standards, build a culture of data-driven accountability, provide comprehensive professional development, and deploy targeted interventions to meet students where they are. As we wrap up, 3 key points stand out. First, our overall graduation readiness remains strong. Nearly 9 in 10 students are on track in ELA and 3/4 in math, continuing to outpace the state averages. Second, our access data shows real progress, with 26 multilingual learners meeting the exit threshold this year and a steady 5-year upward trend. Finally, our 4-pillar intervention framework will build on these successes and address any remaining opportunity gaps. Pause for any questions.
I have a question, but tangentially related to this. So with the English language learners, there's 5 periods a day. So are they removed from one of those periods every day to go to a special class, or what's their typical day look like relative to an English 100% proficient?
So our multilingual students take an ESL course as well as an English class. So in their schedule, we are on a rotating block, so they may not take a double English every day, but their schedule has an ESL class, an English class, and then they are also still responsible to take the core graduation requirements in mathematics, science, and social studies. We do, it's a Title III program, have after school and additional supports for those students. I know this year, Dr. Donahue and the team did some pull-out programs during the day to assist our multilingual students with just getting familiar with the format, at least, of the standardized tests. And teachers would work with them, during these pull-out periods throughout the day. Also, again, we have robust after-school programs, not just for multilingual students, but for all of our students. All of our teachers who service multilingual students are trained in what we call SIOP. It's a Sheltered Instruction Observation Protocol. So, teachers that, speak English that are working with students with other languages, they are able to successfully support students in teaching them the content, even if obviously those students are not proficient in English who they're instructing. We have a multitude of paraprofessionals in those classrooms helping to support the instructional program and help support the teachers and support the students in that learning process.
So, I love to see the increases, those jumps are really amazing. And it's administration, and faculty and staff. Are we able to tell, can we give credit to the pullouts? Do we know it's because of the pullouts, or do we know it's because of the afternoon programs? Like, is there any barometer to judge that?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, each school kind of develops their own plan of supports. So it's hard to pinpoint if there's any one ingredient that led to the gains, but certainly when we identify our students, we look at their strengths, their weaknesses, and that's how we determine what supports they're going to wind up needing and tailor it to that. So that's probably the best way to differentiate.
I think first and foremost, this is a district that takes a tremendous amount of pride and work goes into our curriculum, looking at state standards, making sure that our curriculum is aligned to those standards, extensive work through our professional development and our professional learning communities, that teachers are working together on the development of assessments. This is a district that has a model, parents know it, students know it, TCAs through course assessments. These are benchmark assessments that we have throughout the school year to be able to gauge student learning and student mastery of the standards. Those TCAs, as well as other assessments that are given to students, we are able, administrators, supervisors, teachers, to be able to hone in to where some of the weaknesses are and be able to provide remediation and support. So I think first and foremost, it's, having excellent curriculum, the build, that's teachers kind of alongside, their supervisors, working through the development of assessments, the assessment practices that we have in the district in order to be able to target and identify where students still may need help, a district that has the supports in place. What I was really proud of was the support of this Board of Education. We were able, coming into September, we had an additional mathematics teacher hired in each of the buildings, which reduced some of the class sizes. And I also think that assists the teachers in being able to give a little bit more special attention and individualization to their instructional program in those classrooms. Hard to pinpoint exactly, what we attribute that rise to. Every class is different, every student is different. I think the way I look at education and instruction and student achievement, I want students to move from point A to point B to point C and move along that continuum. And I want this district to be a district that takes pride in making sure that students are growing under our watch in the 4 years, but are also able to engage in the curriculum at the highest level and be able to pass any assessment that they are responsible for. And I believe that is our ultimate responsibility, and I take that job very seriously. And that is the reason I strongly was advocating for additional mathematics teachers, and I strongly advocate, this team knows, for additional support programs for kids, because everybody is at a different place of readiness at different times of their development.
Thank you. I know it's hard to pinpoint like what assessment is helping or what is more successful, but an 8% increase.
It's real
We're
nice.
taking it.
I noticed that the special ed was significantly below. Are we moving forward as we've hired extra math teachers? Are we hiring extra special ed teachers in addition, or are we coming up with a plan for that to increase that, since that was significantly below level?
Yeah, so again, our approach is all, and our support programs, are available to our special education students. Again, we have different types of special education programs based on, student need. So in-class, support.
I just mean
ICR.
moving forward, it's like, are we coming up with a plan to try to somehow, we came up with a plan to hire extra math teachers, but, do we need to go back?
And they've benefited from that as well, in their classrooms, because a large majority of our special education population is serviced through our ICR model, in-class resource. And then there are students in a resource center that those classes don't go above 12 students, so very targeted supports within that classroom with their classroom teachers. That is exposure, that is teaching the general ed curriculum, but to a much smaller population of students. So whatever their IEP is calling for in terms of any modifications or accommodations, that's in place for them. And again, sometimes depending on where the level is at, we want to be able to see growth. And that, to us right now, is the most important. When a child has an IEP, that annual review meeting, the parent is able to see progress over time.
Thank you.
I have a question. It could be a hard one, it's kind of empirical. And if you don't know the answer, just get back to me. But what's the proficiency level on the SAT that would prove, what's the score on the SAT that would prove proficiency for English and math?
A corresponding cut score on the SAT that would demonstrate proficiency. I don't know that offhand, but that's certainly easy enough to figure out.
It's probably state mandated, I would suppose, right?
Mr. Henniker, what is the SAT score for the substitute assessment that demonstrates to the state that they have met their graduation requirement? So that's the parallel score and that is, what was the SAT score? That's, yeah, it's like a
475.
425?
420.
Mhm. And if a child has that score for New Jersey, then they have met their graduation requirement through a pathway. And class of 25 was still able to meet their state graduation requirement through a substitute assessment. We don't know where that will be for 2026.
Yeah, you worded that better than I did, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's 420.
420.
Oh, so you just Googled.
You just lowered it.
Very good. I could.
Dr. Henniker,
Thank you.
for the access test, for those students who are testing out of ELL services and things like that, those who have tested out, do they still have access to language supports should they feel they need them? Because of course proficiency is not necessarily fluency, so.
Yes,
all that testing.
they're monitored for a minimum of 1 year, and if they're, if they feel like they're slipping or sliding back, or then they can either parent can request or through teacher recommendation be provided with additional services.
Is there some kind of program that it's like, oh, I just kind of need to dust off, like some kind of after school? I know there was mention about like additional supports for, after school programs and things like that for students who may just need to kind of like top up their, who have tested out but may feel the need to go in that direction of just kind of like an after school study group to kind of just keep up on their.
Well, there are tutoring opportunities made available to all students,
Yeah.
right? So, in particular, those students need that particular help. They, can sign up for, a tutoring session, whether it's before school or after school or whatever the school may offer. I know sometimes during lunch they offer it. Teachers offer additional supports during, free periods. So, there's definitely supports available should they want it. But typically at that 4.5 level, there, it's not complete fluency, but it's very well working knowledge of the language and the technical terms they need to be successful in the academic work that they're doing.
Now, once they test out of the ELL program, does that require a change in building, or do they remain in whatever building they started in?
No, they could stay. They'll stay in their home school, in their school that they're currently enrolled in.
Any more discussion, board? Okay, we'll move along with the agenda.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Henniker.
Dr. Hanukkah, that's great. So we do not have any board reports tonight. So, and no one signed up for public participation, OG. So, we're going to, Mr. Ferrer, any changes to the board agenda we'd like to make?
Yes, Mr. Bruno, we do have a few. I'm just going to highlight. There is 2 attachments or handouts in the back. One is a white one, which is correct G2 approval of Mr. Brown from step 1 to step 4. The second one is a little more lengthy, but I'll just go through it very quickly. G1, approval of resignations. We have Mr. Richard Huntington. G2, approval of appointments. We have Dylan Gardner and Nicholas Savasta. G4, approval of honoraria. We have several coaches, including a couple of volunteers and stipends. G9, approval of rescission. Mr. Carl Tash, Coach at Howell. G14, approval of rescission of school physician. We had a change in the assigned physician for one of the district's physicians of record. And then for G15, approval of agreement with the new physician with reference to that replacement reference in G14. And then finally, we do have a settlement agreement, which would be noted on J19, which is a settlement agreement with reference to a special education case and general release for student number 2025-90597. Mr. Bruno, that concludes the edits and changes to tonight's agenda.
Thank you. I'm going to try to take personnel negotiations, programs operations, building, transportation, and physical plant, and educational program administration, G1 through K4.
Second.
Ms. Capiello, second was Ms.
Thank you. Any discussion on any of those items, board?
Can I just ask a question and just clarify?
Sure.
The change in calendar was just an addition of the BD? Okay.
In December.
Okay.
Anything on the program, anything else, board? Okay, so not hearing any discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Rossitolo,
Yes.
Ms. Bruno,
Yes.
Mrs. Capiello,
Yes on everything except on G13, I abstain.
abstain on G13, thank you. Ms. Butcher Farkas,
Yes.
Mrs. Higley,
Yes, except I abstain on G13 and for K1 as in regards to constructive law.
thank you. Mrs. Lavin,
Yes.
Ms. McCaw,
Yes.
Mr. Messenger,
Yes.
Mr. Bruno,
Yes.
thank you.
Do we have any old business to discuss, board? Any old business? And I just want to echo, graduation was great. I went to Howell, and was helped out.
Hottest one ever.
It's hard to get into the building, right, Amanda?
Yeah, that was fun.
We were like lockdown, just lockdown, but we got in. And, so it was a beautiful graduation, and, I understand they all were great. So Amanda, you went to two.
I did. I was at Burroughs, and I also went to House. Both were wonderfully and efficient, and everyone did our best to keep us all cool.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Any new business?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
So just speaking of graduations while we're on the topic, one of the things I will be exploring with the administrative team, obviously, you know, looking at an outside venue indoors becomes very challenging because there are so many school districts that do that. So it's very hard to kind of lock in dates. But we are looking into that, so that may be something down the road for Freehold Regional High School District where we can look at an indoor venue and be able to graduate our 6 schools, you know, indoors. So that's one thing we are exploring. But also on more of an immediate front, what I will be probably looking at with the building principals is changing our graduation times to the morning. That would allow us some flexibility. We have to work out some things, but flexibility that if we know, you know, it's going to be a rough morning, that we would be able to change it, you know, to the evening. But if everything is good in the morning, then we don't have to worry about those late afternoon thunderstorms that come through on a very hot day. So it just affords us a little bit more flexibility. Also will take us possibly out of the, you know, direct sun, you know, in the afternoon. Our district does do multiple graduations because we have families that have multiple children in different schools, so we try to accommodate them that they can be at each of their children's graduation. So just something that we're looking at on the immediate front, and what we're looking at and exploring and researching down the road. Yes, but we have a very important appointment this evening. As you all know, Dr. Lavetta Ross is retiring from the Freehold Regional High School District, principal of Freehold High School. So we had a very extensive interview process here at the district. And we are excited to welcome a new principal, Mr. James Brown Jr., to the Freehold Regional High School District administrative team. Mr. Brown is being recommended to the board this evening as our next principal of Freehold High School in the Freehold Regional High School District. Mr. Brown started his career in the Red Bank Public Schools and then segued to Long Branch Public Schools. Was a special educator, so an educator at heart, but extensive experience in administration, and has served as a lead principal both at the middle school and at the high school in Long Branch, and is currently the principal of the middle high school in the South Amboy Public Schools. In meeting him and speaking with his references, I know he will be dedicated to forging meaningful connections with our students and staff and community and our fellow administrative team members. He will continue the rich legacy that Freehold High School has, and we look forward to working with you, by your side, as you and your team continue to achieve great things for Freehold High School. I know you are also here supported by your wife and son, and also, I think a mentor, and also your present superintendent, I believe, because we spoke on the phone, Dr. Frederick Williams, who's the superintendent of South Amboy, and all of your references were glowing and outstanding, so speaks volumes that your present superintendent is here. We spoke on the phone like, oh, I need him here, and we're juggling days because you're really needed in two places, Dr. Frederick Williams, pleasure to have you here and supporting, Mr. James Brown. But we welcome all of you. Our team, many of our team members are here. Our administrative team is here. So a special welcome. We are honored to have you here on our team. Looking forward to working, closely with you and introducing you to everyone over at Freehold High School. So welcome to the district, Mr. James Brown Jr. There, but Ida West is here. She's the educational liaison to the Earl Naval Base. Educational liaison works closely and directly with these students and families on the base. So we always appreciate you being here, getting all of the information about the school district. I know you're in close contact with Dr. Howell and our team all of the time. We wish many of the new students who are coming into our schools, best success. It's a very difficult transition. I remember meeting you and the team over at the Naval Base, and to really hear from families that have had so much transition. We want to make sure that, your students and your families, have a smooth entry into our school system. So we thank you for being there and being our partner. It means a lot to us, and we appreciate all your support.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
They've probably already been in 6 or 7 different schools.
Yes. It's, yep, and that evening meeting so many of the families, you feel for the kids and what they see when they even go on the website and have to understand, kind of a whole new language when they've been in multiple states and been involved with so many different types of registration processes and all of the programs that we have to offer. So, we thank you for being here.
Thank you. Okay, so are you good? Anybody else have any new business?
Just, I did discuss one more thing. Just want to let our community know we have a tremendous amount of facility work being done this school year. I just want to thank, Mr. Verdoni, who is hard at work with his team. He's getting pulled in a lot of different directions, a lot of projects, and the business office and our team is working on a 5-year facility plan. So a tremendous amount of work underway, and I just wanted I know I discussed that with the board, and they've gotten a lot of briefs on a lot of our plans. So, you know, we're excited for the opening of school, and we'll have an additional report to the community with all those projects for August.
We got more for you.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn, please.
Can I have a motion?
Ms. McCobb, second, Ms. Lavin.
And I got in trouble for not saying the whole thing, so may I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Oh, you gotta get
Don't
some.
say you have fun over there.
All in favor?
Aye.